You know what actually broke my brain after I finished the finale? Patrice. Yeah, that Patrice. The one Robin screamed at for 9 straight seasons. Remember that moment in the flash forward where they show the future? Patrice became a radio host. She's got her own show. Good for her. So I'm sitting there like, okay, cool, happy ending for Patrice, and then it hits me. One simple thing, Robin is calling her show on purpose. You get what that means? Nobody's forcing her. Robin's a successful international journalist, flying around the world, living her career. But she, specifically dials Patrice's number and starts yelling at her live on air. That famous "nobody asked you, Patrice" scream? It didn't end when she left Worldwide News. It became a habit, a hobby. Robin actually needs Patrice to dump her inner chaos onto. And now I'm breaking this whole Patrice situation down from scratch, and my hair is literally standing up. Patrice is the one character in the show who loves Robin unconditionally. No tricks, no games, no "I love you," but she's just kind. Bakes her cupcakes, irons her pants, supports her. And what does Robin do back? Screams. Humiliates her in public. Bans her from her own bachelorette party. And when Patrice shows up anyway, because that's who she is, you can't scare her off with kindness, Robin screams even louder. But here's the rough part. When Barney plans that huge proposal, he bets on Patrice specifically. He picks her as the fake girlfriend on purpose. Why? Because he knows Robin. He knows no other woman on Earth would set her off like Patrice would. Barney literally uses Robin's toxic relationship with Patrice as a lever to push her to the exact emotional place he needs so he can propose. Her hatred for a kind woman became a tool, like a weapon. Hey, welcome to Raymond Mosby. So look, the more you think about this, the scarier it gets. Because Patrice represents everything Robin never got as a kid. Warmth, unconditional love, a mother's care. And when that love walks up to Robin and goes, "I just want to be your friend, want a cookie," Robin's internal alarm goes off. It's a trap, it's too much, run. And she attacks. Honestly, I used to watch these moments and laugh along with the laugh track. Now I rewatch them and I just feel uncomfortable. This is literally workplace bullying. At her actual job, in public, and nobody stops her. Barney gets roasted for his lifestyle, he gets called out. Robin? Never, because she's one of the guys. She's cool. She holds a cigar. Her behavior gets labeled as a quirk instead of what it actually is. And you know what? This leads me to the biggest thing. The thing I never even noticed before. Look, the show has this whole concept of keeping someone on the hook. Season 5 has an entire episode about it, literally called Hooked. And they lay out the theory. One person is just interested enough in the other to keep them around, but never actually willing to be in a real relationship. The one on the hook is there for emotional backup, to catch you if anything goes wrong, for validation. In that episode, they show Ted on the hook for some girl named Tiffany. Funny, right? Here's the punchline. The whole show, all 9 seasons. The real Tiffany is Robin, and the real guy on the hook is Ted. The show literally handed you the instruction manual to its own main dynamic, straight to your face, and most people just walked past it. And here's what actually scares me, how deep that hook was stuck in Ted's head. Remember the episode No Pressure in season 7? Ted confesses he loves her, and before she answers, we see what Ted's imagining. He's literally fantasizing that she says, "I know I don't love you the way you love me, but I love you anyway." And when I rewatched that, it hit me. In reality, she just said no. But why does Ted's brain even invent a response like that? Because that is their real dynamic. Ted is so used to feeding on her emotional crumbs that he's writing the manipulative lines for her himself. She spent years feeding him backup plans. Let's get married at 40 if we're both single. Come have juice at 2 a.m. while your girlfriend is in Germany. Ted literally programmed himself to believe that even her no isn't a no, it's just a pause. And Robin sees this sickness of his perfectly, but she never actually cuts the cord. And here's what actually shocks me. Remember the deleted scene from the finale? The one that didn't air but is in the director's cut. Year 2020. Ted is happily married to Tracy. They have kids. He's happy. Robin's a big shot journalist flying the world but painfully alone. They run into each other and grab lunch. And Robin starts feeling him out. She doesn't say "I regret it" directly. She goes the sneaky route. She looks at him and drops, "Don't people our age start wondering what could have been different? Don't you ever play the what if game? Stop. Wait, he's married. He has little kids. He's married. He has And she's sitting there deliberately pulling him into nostalgia for their past relationship. Why? That's not love. That's a narcissistic supply check. She's testing, does the hook still work? Will he doubt his perfect life for her? She just needs to know he's still there, on reserve. And the one moment when Ted finally, after all those years, slips off that hook, when he looks her in the eye and calmly says, I don't spend a lot of time thinking about what ifs. I guess that's what happy is. That's it. Done. He's free. And you can see it in Robin's face the second it hits her, her emotional life raft just drifted away. But hold on. I'm going back to Barney's proposal, because that's a whole other layer of insanity I'm still digesting. Remember how the whole thing worked? Barney literally runs a multi-week psychological operation. Season 8. It's called The Robin. 16 steps. 16 Carl. He starts by publicly telling Robin he's over her. That's step 1. Then he starts supposedly dating Patrice, the person she hates most. Step by step, he breaks her down. Burns a fake playbook in front of her to prove his commitment to Patrice. He even sets up hidden cameras in his apartment to watch Robin react. He's literally spying on her emotional breakdown in real time. And in the finale of this multi-story manipulation, he lures her up to the roof, pulls out the last page of his plan, and shows her everything. Every step, every lie, every manipulation. Her first reaction is completely normal. She's furious. She asks how you can ever trust a person capable of something like this. And then she says yes. And that's like one of the most disturbing moments in the entire show. Because what does that mean psychologically? It means manipulation feels like love to Robin. The more complicated, twisted, and toxic they act, the more it proves her worth. A healthy person would have walked away right there. No discussion. Robin said yes because it was set up that way. Barney even straight up told her he loved her because she wasn't needy, because she didn't show weakness. That's a horrible foundation for a marriage. And later, when the marriage inevitably falls apart after 3 years, I used to think, yeah, they just didn't click. Career, travel, the whole thing. But now I get it. It was the only possible ending. They're both avoidant. They both build relationships on not opening up to each other. Barney put on a whole show of being the suit-wearing player. Robin hid behind work. And when he actually started opening up, when he actually became her husband and started expecting emotional intimacy from her, she just couldn't. Got on a plane and left. Literally. And you know what's saddest? After the divorce, Barney immediately backslides. Goes right back to the playbook. He does his perfect month, 31 women in 31 days. He's even worse than he was in the pilot. Robin backslides too. Cuts off all her friends, gets the dogs again, becomes that lonely wandering journalist. Her growth across all 9 seasons was a lie. The second the marriage collapsed, she went back to square one. That literally proves there was no growth. The whole thing was an act. Okay, now let's go back, because there's this thing about her childhood. Robin constantly repeats, I was raised as a boy. My dad wanted a son. I was left in the woods for 3 days with a knife. And I used to think she was exaggerating for the whole tough tomboy image. But the show shows flashbacks. And there's a detail in there that's actually disturbing. We see little Robin, a normal girl. Dresses, cartoons, and then that moment happens. Her dad catches her kissing a boy. And he completely loses it. He screams, I don't have a son. Forcibly cuts her hair like a boy's, drags her out hunting, and starts calling her Robin Charles Scherbatsky Jr. The trauma is absolutely real. Her dad literally destroyed her identity so she could earn his love. But you know what the real problem with adult Robin is? She takes this monstrous trauma and turns it into a bulletproof shield. I have a dismissive attachment style, I have trouble opening up. That's all true. But she uses it not as a problem to work on, but as a convenient excuse to hurt the people around her. Barney was turning himself inside out for her. Kevin accepted her as she was. But why actually heal the trauma and try to build a real marriage when you can just say, well, my dad left me in the woods, I'm broken, so I'm gonna get on a plane and leave. Sorry. She turned her pain into an excuse for her own selfishness. And on top of that, she polished the whole image tells everyone about playing solo tennis. Even though we know full well she played hockey, super team sport, she's literally constructing the myth of her eternal loneliness herself. And if you start looking at all her relationships through that lens, everything clicks. Remember the episode where Ted starts dating Victoria? The baker from the wedding. Sweet, kind, actually in love with him. They're dating normally, then she leaves for a pastry internship in Germany. And Robin, after one bad day somebody's kid at the kindergarten asked her about her husband, and some coworker hit on her calls Ted at 2 a.m., knowing he's in a relationship. Remember how this went down? Come over, let's make some juice. Juice. At 2 a.m. and Ted, the idiot, goes and lies that he and Victoria broke up. And they kiss. Robin never even asked, just took the lie as fact, because it was convenient for her. And then her line the next day when the truth came out and Victoria found out and dumped him, Robin just turned the page. And then a few years later, Victoria comes back. She and Ted are together again. They're already talking about marriage. And Victoria, being smart, finally sees the whole picture and gives Ted an ultimatum. It's me or Robin, because as long as Robin's in your life, we're not going to work. And you know what she says about Robin? Robin is a deep, dark pit where our relationship goes to die. Just like that. And it lands perfectly. But here's the other thing. In that whole situation, Robin doesn't even have to do anything. She literally does nothing. She just exists as a factor. And Ted, with his anxious attachment, picks her. Because letting her go is scarier than losing Victoria. Her presence is the sabotage. She doesn't need to lift a finger. But when she does lift a finger, oh, that's a different story. Ted's wedding to Stella. Season 4. Stella's a dermatologist, single mom, already has a daughter, so Ted gets an instant ready-made family, which is everything he's always wanted. Everything is perfect. And Robin, living on the other side of the planet in Japan, deliberately flies out for the wedding, on purpose. And on the morning of the wedding, she corners Ted and tells him the one thing that completely breaks him. She quotes the blue French horn. Remember? That stupid French horn Ted stole for her in the pilot. The symbol of his crazy young love. And she uses it, the morning of his wedding. She says, "You stole a blue French horn for me, and this is how your great romantic journey ends. You dissolve into somebody else's wedding, somebody else's house, somebody else's life. This isn't Ted Mosby." Let's think about what she's actually saying. She's not saying, "Let's be together." She's not saying, "I love you." She's saying, "Don't marry her. Just don't marry her," with no alternative. She wants to blow up his path and offer nothing in return. That's not love. That's selfishness dressed up as romance. And a few hours later, Stella runs off with her ex. And Robin gets on a plane back. This is her MO. She doesn't need love. She needs the reassurance that she's loved. And those are two different things. When Ted is free and ready to be with her, she pushes him away. When Ted's happy with somebody else, she throws herself in to save him. In my old notes, I kept calling this the lobster theory. You want what you can't have. And it describes her perfectly. Her desire only kicks in when the man is out of reach. Now let's talk about Barney. Remember the episode Tick, Tick, Tick? Season 7. Wise. Robin's dating Kevin, her ex-therapist, by the way, which is already a massive red flag. Barney is dating Nora, a sweet, healthy woman who's actually helping him become a better person. And Robin and Barney, both already in relationships, sleep together. The next morning they make a deal. They both break up with their partners that night and start a real relationship. Barney goes home. He actually does it. He tells Nora the truth. Nora, by the way, is ready to forgive him. All she needs is for him to say it didn't mean anything. But Barney, who decided to be honest for the first time in his life, can't say that to her because he promised Robin. And he burns down a normal, healthy relationship for Robin. And Robin walks into McLaren's. Barney's there. Rose petals. Candles. He's waiting. He did his half of the deal, broke somebody else's heart, ended up alone for her. And Robin walks into the bar with Kevin, just silently shakes her head. She didn't do anything. She didn't even try. She let Barney jump off a cliff and stayed safe herself. That, honestly, is one of the most nightmarish moments for me. Because this isn't just cowardice. It's calculation. She knows Kevin is a safe harbor. He's her therapist. He understands her. He doesn't demand real emotional openness. Barney is a risk. He's the real thing. And Robin picks the concrete wall over the door and watches the guy who was supposed to be her partner blow out his candles alone. She's a terrible partner. Just terrible. And what's interesting is that fans usually blame Barney for his manipulations. And Robin, in this exact moment, does something just as brutal. Just without a playbook. Just with silence. And then there's this whole double standard thing that really kills me. Early in her relationship with Ted, Robin throws a fit because Ted keeps some tiny mementos from exes. Just little stuff, nothing special. She demands he throw it all out. Erase the past. And when Barney later tries to get rid of her stuff, she's literally furious. So her past is sacred and everyone else's is trash. She makes Ted get the TV out of the bedroom. We shouldn't have a TV in the bedroom. It kills intimacy. And then, with another guy, Nick, she watches herself on the news during sex, because that turns her on. Okay, so the rule wasn't actually about the TV in the bedroom. The rule was, I'm in control, you obey. And the craziest thing, the dogs. Remember? Robin has 5 dogs, all gifts from exes. Ted feels insecure about it and demands she get rid of them. And she gives them all away. All of them. For Ted. So in her early 20s, she gives up living creatures she loves for a guy. And 10 years later, when her marriage to Barney is on the line, she refuses to make a single career compromise. Not one. You know what she does when Barney complains about being lonely in their marriage? She agrees to the divorce. In that exact second, this is literally a total inversion. When she was young, too many sacrifices, in the wrong direction. Later, total refusal to compromise at all. And this overcorrection is basically the consequence of her Dawn trauma. Remember Dawn, the coworker who used to bully her, who she supposedly fixed, who she started dating. She turned down a huge promotion in Chicago to stay with him, and later he got offered the exact same job and he took it. Got on a plane and left, dumped her. And after that, Robin drew a conclusion not the one I'd expect from a healthy person. A healthy person would say, I communicated poorly. We should talk about this stuff together. But Robin drew the conclusion, sacrifice leads to pain. Never sacrifice again. That decision destroyed her marriage before it even started. And you know what else? Guns. This one honestly just wrecks me. Because in the show, her relationship with guns is played as a cool little quirk. She's the Canadian girl who loves to shoot. Haha, funny. But if you actually look at it soberly, it's horrifying. She carries a loaded pistol in her purse. No safety on. She literally says, every time I watch the news, I think is that my gun going off again. She takes Marshall to a gun range to cheer him up after a breakup, hands him a powerful weapon, and forgets to warn him about the kickback. Marshall gets slammed in the face by the recoil and passes out. She shoves a Desert Eagle at Lily, a huge pistol that's hard even for experienced shooters just to make some point. She fires into the ceiling of her New York apartment to make the neighbors shut up. Any single one of these episodes in real life is a criminal case. Multiple criminal cases. And the show plays it all as comedy. And Ted, who's anti-gun, who literally says, in America we solve problems with words, not bullets, his position is framed as weak, snobby, funny. Robin's position is framed as cool and masculine. This is honestly very weird moral math if you look at it without the laugh track. And when you put it all together, Patrice, Kevin, Victoria, Stella, the dogs, the guns, the double standards, you get a really uncomfortable portrait. And the worst part is, you can't see it while you're watching week to week with breaks between episodes. The laugh track tells you how to react. But when you binge the show now, without those cues, you realize a huge chunk of her behavior isn't the quirk of a strong, independent woman. It's just toxicity that spent years dressed up as empowerment. And then, the finale. Ted's widowed, Robin's standing by the window with her dogs. He shows up with the blue French horn. Everyone goes, oh, they're finally together, so sweet. But if you think about it, this is the perfect completion of her strategy. She got the career, she got the travel, she skipped all the years where you have to raise little kids. She showed up at Ted's door when it was convenient for her a ready-made family with teenagers. And all of it with zero sacrifice. Not one real sacrifice on her end the entire journey. And this isn't a tragedy. It's not a woman who didn't get enough love finally finding herself. This is a person who kept somebody on the hook for 10 years, waited for his wife to die, and took him back for herself. I honestly can't watch it as romance anymore. For me now, the finale is the darkest confirmation of everything the show was really about. The system worked, the hook held. And the main thing, her whole life she doubted whether she was living right. And Ted coming back is basically telling her, yes, you were right, every choice you made was the right one. That's her final narcissistic validation, and it cost Ted his life with Tracy. I sometimes think if the show wasn't called How I Met Your Mother, but How Robin Got Ted on the Hook, that would be a way more honest title. The whole plot is literally about that if you pay attention. And when I got this simple thing, I can't watch it the way I used to anymore. I see every smile she gives Ted as a turn of the screw. Every I love you, but as maintenance on the system. She's not a comic book villain. She's way worse. She's a real type of person you meet in real life. And maybe that's why she's so hard to watch now. Because if something clicked in your head even once while you were listening, you've seen a Robin like this in real life too. Or maybe you were the Ted. If you've seen it hit the bell, I'm going to break down every other character through this same lens, and trust me, Barney is going to be just as disturbing.